before I go any further and give you all this doom and gloom of your past, right? I'm going to tell you your life is beginning again for the better. And it's as if you've planted a little seed, right? And little trees are starting to grow. Life is beginning again. You're in the place where you could easily leave the past behind. But because of the kids, you're very connected to the past. Do you understand that? Now, I would describe Lee as a total wanker, but that's my opinion. Just because he's just totally left you high and dry. And does he not financially support you?
He does, yeah.
He does?
Like, what he's meant to pay. That's all I get.
And what's he meant to pay? Just woo-woos how much you get of him?
It's £87 a month.
Oh my God. For 2 kids? Oh my God. You wouldn't, do you know, like as us as mothers, how much would you say you spend on your kids a day? More than £20 a day, don't you?
Dinner monies and packed lunch stuff. And
honestly. And he doesn't give that. So that's what that's talking about. £87 a month. It's not. You couldn't even buy nappies. If there were nappies, you couldn't even buy nappies for that. No. There's 3 of Pentacles. Was he cheating on you?
I didn't think he was until the end, and then I kind of had my doubts.
Right. Why? What made you have your doubts?
I don't know, actually.
Just the way up and left?
No, just I thought it was like a work colleague, just the way he was like talking about.
Well, that, right, that Pentacles, it's 3, and it represents you, him, and somebody else, and because it's a Pentacle, it represents to do with work.
Right.
So this is telling me he didn't, while you were married, right, while you were together, he didn't have sex behind your back, definitely didn't, right? But this, he did a lot of this behind your back. Now, if you've got to delete something that a work colleague sends you before your wife sees it, you're a cheater, even if you're not having sex with him. Mm-hmm. Do you understand that? Mm-hmm. So that's what I meant by on your wedding day.
Right.
Like as if he's Facebooking or... Bloody hell. But do you feel better off without him or do you not yet?
I don't know. Are
you still in that bit where...
Mixed emotions, I think.
Mixed emotions. This 7 of Swords here, right? This is saying... He mustn't have been right for you, otherwise you would still be together. Right? Now, you did everything in the relationship. In terms of the love, the cooking, the cleaning, the kids. You just were the mother, the father, the wife, the husband. You were everything. You give him too easy of a ride. Do you understand that? And it's because you loved him so much. But he totally took that for granted. Now, I wouldn't give him a second chance, but the chances are you were going to.
I don't like...
What makes you say that?
I think too much has happened anyway.
Too much has happened. Have you met this other lad yet?
What other lad?
I met somebody yet?
No.
No, right. What I will tell you is since you and Lee split up, he's met somebody else, right? Because that, even though you're not together, you're still married, so in the eyes of tarot, he's cheating on you because he's married to you. Do you understand that? So even though you're not really with each other, he's still cheating on you. And the thing is, he's such a liar about it, right? If he had just come out and said to you, look, I've met somebody, blah, 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 you could have dealt with it. But when other people are telling you, and he's denying it, now you hear it from your kids, it's more heartbreaking than if he just come out and told you. Yeah. Do you understand that? That 7 of Cups there, what is the connection to either mental abuse, physical abuse or sexual abuse?
What do you mean?
Like, this is either to you or to somebody very close to you who's suffered with either mental abuse, physical abuse or sexual abuse. What does that mean when I say that to you?
Well, he caused her to suffer that, I suppose.
Mentally, physically. Do you understand that? Because that represents children who've been affected by it. That dragon and that snake represent, it's a turn in his personality which you didn't know existed, right? That dog stranger there is supposed to represent someone who's meant to take great care of you, but who turns out to be your biggest nightmare. The money is the lack of the money. The house is, I think it was his idea to come here, move, let's do all the, let's fresh start it and all that. And he didn't have any intentions of making it a fresh start. He just went straight back into his old ways. Do you understand that? In the death wreath there, this is urging you to put an end to him once and for all. Now, I don't mean kill him, right? Would be handy, wouldn't it? But it's like where you go, right, I'm going to move on, and you'll do that the minute you meet somebody else. And that's coming, that's on the horizon here.
Right.
Will you be terrified of that?
Nah, not really.
Are you ready for it? Now, I feel like this lad, the lad you meet's called Jamie.
Right.
Or Jimmy, it's something very along those lines, right? James or Jamie. And this is where he makes you feel the way a woman should feel. Very beautiful, very sexy, very free. Because I think what Lee did here was he clipped your wings. Do you understand that? So you went from being the life and soul of the party to not even being allowed at the party. And that part of you needs to return because you've lost a big part of who you are. And, you know, when we get settled as people, we do tend to stay in and we're dead happy and all that. But this was, he intentionally kept you in. Do you understand that? That's the domineering, that's the emotional abuse, that's what that's talking about. Now give a look what your granda thinks about all this. Bless him. Right. He's shown us he's got a little boy in spirit with him, your granda.
Right.
Whose little boy is that?
I don't know, I have had a miscarriage. I've had 2.
Well, it could be that it's one of those.
Right.
Because it's just a little baby, doesn't really grow up, hasn't got a name as such. It's got to be that. So what happens is when you miscarry, they don't grow past babies, they never ever mature. But like in say 20 years, they would say, like they'd let you know they were 27. So it was 27 years ago. Do you understand that? Now the son is the happiness that is going to return in your life, right? Now, it's been a while since you've been happy. Do you understand that? You can put on a smiley face and fake it all you want, but I can see past all of that you just feel a big regret for the marriage, everything. He's destroyed Lee's destroyed everything you thought about marriage. But it's because he's a tosser, not you. So in the future you will still get married, but the next time you'll get married to the right person. Who is